Welcome back. It has been 2 years. I've been waiting for this awesome day, and I said I was going to give it to you. Today is Saturday, August is this the second? I think it's the second.
First.
Oh, yay, perfect day. It is August 1st. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Guys, it is August 1st. I told you I was going to bring you this content, and so here we are. Welcome back. Been waiting for this to Different Mug Talk. For you guys that have not previously known what Different Mug Talk is, it's just a reason for me to talk about anything I wanted to talk about and drink copious amounts of coffee and give you guys my selection of mugs. And you might see things in mugs over again because I am poor. So this is all on a budget. And that's how we like to introduce the show every single time. So first, we will probably introduce my co-host and my special guest, my friend Tiffany. I'll give her a chance to talk, but we have our mugs and whatever stories that came with them. And then I'm going to do shameless promotion for people that have had some type of impact in my life. That's the coffee makers and whoever developed the mug that I'm drinking from. So I will actually introduce my friend. I met her in 2013. She's been a long term. I met her here again while I moved to San Antonio in 2018. We reconnected and it has been fantastic. So thank you, Tiffany, for coming and joining us on the show. It should be phenomenal. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Anything you want to let the crowd know about you?
Oh, well, I'm Tiffany. I've been in Texas for since 2015. Like Eboni said, we met in Korea. I don't know. Did you say that? Did you say
no,
that?
I didn't say that, but you just gave it away.
Okay. All right. So we met in Korea, and that was a blast. Not really. Not for me, anyways. But when we PCS, I think he PCS somewhere else overseas, and then ultimately we kind of met up back here. So it was pretty cool to have a friendly face to see, in a place that you're not familiar with. So I mean, the last time we were in San Antonio was probably training, tech school. That was about it. But I just recently got out of the military. Actually, today is my first day of retirement. Yeah. So
congratulations.
Thank you. How do I feel? Broke. Broke. But I mean, it was time. It was time for me to get out. It really was. When you start getting to the point where your heart is not in it anymore, you just got to try to find what what your passion is, and it hadn't been there for a long time. So it really was. It was really time for me to find me and find what it is, what I want out of my life. But I just recently also got married a couple weeks ago. A lot of people don't know that.
And this is a heck of a way to let that announcement out. I'm super excited. It's like front page news right here. So you heard
Sorry guys, I didn't tell you. But it just kind of happened so fast, with everything with Corona, and Corona ruined a lot of plans for everybody. So it's just, sorry, I apologize again. But hey, now you know. So, I mean, that's about it. I don't have any kids or anything. I have a dog, a little Chihuahua. He's old and mean, hopefully you don't hear him start barking. So I'll try to mute it, if he starts barking. But he does just randomly bark. And I'm not sure what he's barking at, but he just barks.
I want to say you got ghosts in your house. You might have ghosts in your house, though.
I hope not. I'm not trying to share my space with some ghosts. That's just I can't deal with that. If I find a ghost, I'm gone. Okay.
It's not like finding spiders.
Yeah, well, you can kill a spider. I mean, who am I gonna get? The Ghostbusters?
I mean,
what's that lady off The Conjuring? Oh. Come on over, and I got some ghosts for you to go ahead and exterminate.
Look, I'm just saying, dogs are very open to things you just don't see. So I'm just saying, if it's nothing, there's a whole bunch of nothing. You just never know.
Now you have that thought in the back of my mind.
And this is what I'm here for.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So obviously I will be bringing Tiffany back, obviously, to as a reoccurring co-host and special friend, she's got a lot of stories I would love for her to tell us about. Just a genuine and awesome person. So, Tiffany, I do want to ask you about your mug and what you might be drinking. If it is of the liquor store, it is a little early, but I'm not here to judge.
Is it early?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah,
tell us about your mug. What's
so it's not my mug. I stole it from my husband. And I have a couple other mugs, but I just happened to be already sipping out of this one, and I just didn't want to grab another one. But I do like his mug. I mean, it's actually cute. It's kind of, it's like a prescription bottle, So, what's it say? Caffeine, 100 milligrams. Yeah. So I really like this because it kind of reminds me of, taking some medication. Like, I just need to chill. So I'm gonna drink a cup of coffee and just chill. It has his name on it, but he's probably gonna see this and like, why are you drinking out of my cup? And I'm like, oh, sorry. It says keep out of reach of children, may stunt growth. Too late. I'm only 5 foot. Medication should be taken with plenty of water. Finish all this medication unless otherwise dry. Just like a prescription bottle. So, I mean, it's like I said, it doesn't really have a story, but I like it. It's different.
That's what matters, right?
Right.
It's about what you like. So I'm going to try to find a link for something sort of like that, prescription bottle cup, to anybody that wants to feel like going and buying stuff. I'm broke, so it's not like I have a plothering of websites I can give away, but I'm sure Amazon has something like it. Amazon has everything.
He has a link. I can go ahead and give it to you. So, yeah.
Okay, so I will post it along with this video.
Go ahead. Take another look at that. Yeah, and so you can put your name on it when you order it.
That's legit.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we will post a link. It will be available to anybody that wants to have a personalized coffee mug. Thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, you're welcome.
I will do a quick intro for mine. Obviously, you have seen my mug. It says 360, skills for leaders, skills for life. I love this mug, and I'm doing shameless promotion for a leadership course that I just went through virtually for the past 10 days. So for any of my military members or veterans or anybody that can get into that leadership course, it is phenomenal. I will post a link to the webpage. Check it out. Listen to the podcast. They do have a podcast, and there's my shameless promotion for Leadership 360. They taught me a lot about helping myself before I help others. So that was the big takeaway. So much skills, so much training, just a lot of information, data dump right onto you for 10 days. Now, onto the coffee I'm drinking. This is the coffee. The company is called Kicking Horse Coffee. Canadian based, obviously. I'm promoting things that I like, and it's about what I care about anyway. So why I like that again? It is Kicking Horse Coffee.
That sounds strong.
It's not as strong as you might think, like other brands. Yes. So, I mean, I'm probably going to like try other brands, but I've just been into this brand since like 2017 when I deployed the first time. And that was, again, they have a storefront on Amazon. So you could get anything ordered from Amazon to where you needed to go. So sure. It was cheap and easy, I guess, packaging for me to get. But I started with a brand called the Three Sisters. Sounds exotic, but I don't know. It's like 3 blends of coffee from 3 different areas in the mountains. Again, I will post a link because I don't know the exotic story and I don't want to give y'all wrong things. But the second brand I had was called Jackass. And as always, I love anything that has copious amounts of expletives or superlatives. And every time I've had a different part of the coffee, it's just been fantastic. So I'm promoting it. I'll get to some of the other brands that are veteran made and other things later. But we'll try something new every time we hop on, if I can, and when I'm not broke. So we'll try to do this around payday. So I have a reason to buy it. I can buy another stuff. All right, that is our intro. So take 10 seconds here. This is what I'll do. Okay. So we are about to get into the topics of today's Different Mug Talk. Normally, it would be anything I want to talk about that's within the range of electronics, video games, sports, but I'm opening it up. We're going to get into some heavier topics, which I love debating and discussing pretty much anything if I can. So we are talking kind of sort of sports. Two topics we're going to be engaged in today is we're talking the NFL and mainly their discussion about the fact that they're going to play the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, before the national anthem during preseason week 1. Second topic is something that came from the military, came from originally from the NFL in 2016. And you could talk about the background with Colin Kaepernick, but kneeling during the national anthem. And it has become so much more here in 2020. There's a lot of things that can happen from it. So guys, those are our two topics. We're about to get started. So Tiffany, we are talking the Black National Anthem. Let me read a little bit from this Fox News report. This was dated. It's a bit dated, but the reason why I'm bringing it up because my Facebook, Twitter, every social media junket you could probably be on blew up. It was mainly because I'm trying to find the date on this article. There's got to be a date because this was early July.
Yeah, the ones I've been reading are like July 2nd.
Yes.
Like
so
the very beginning.
Yeah, so very beginning of July, the NFL came in and is like, we stand with our minority athletes.
Stand with your players.
Now they stand with the players. And I laugh because it's kind of sort of funny because the NFL has not been standing with their players in any way. Right. Or kneeling with them for that matter. But what we're talking about is the fact that, yes, the NFL reportedly is going to play the Lift Every Voice and Sing, quoting and unquoting this news article, which is also known as the Black National Anthem before every week 1 NFL game in the 2020 season. The decision to play the song comes following the death of Minneapolis man George Floyd, which led to nationwide protests over racial inequality and police brutality. According to the ESPN report, the song will be played before the Star-Spangled Banner, which is the national anthem. What we're talking about today is not necessarily about the NFL and probably some really bad promotion on their side.
That's an understatement.
But what is the Black National Anthem? So I'm going to give a quick history lesson on what is Lift Every Voice and Sing, because I know we probably heard it in church.
Lift every voice and sing.
To heaven, earth. So like we know some of we know probably the first chorus. It's almost like saying the Air Force song. We know the first,
and we hum the rest.
And then you hum the rest. You don't know the rest of the other 3. Like who knows? Like I know some people that know the whole song, but they're usually
it's just like the national anthem. The rest of the verses.
But we only sing the first one.
Right.
So that's part of the discussion.
No one knew about the hireling and the slave. The national anthem.
That's a whole nother discussion, and I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna leave that one pinned because you talk about causing mayhem.
Okay.
So for the history junkets, it's known as or referred to, right? Lift Every Voice and Sing was written originally as a poem by James Weldon Johnson in 1900, and then set to music by his brother. J. Rosman, I hope I say it, Johnson in 1905. It basically, in 1919, the National Association of the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, dubbed the Negro National Anthem for the power in voicing a cry for liberation and affirmation for African American people. Okay, so the first question off the bat. Did you know Lift Every Voice and Sing was the Black National Anthem?
I did not know it was. I knew it was something that almost all Black people knew. You know, everybody knows that song, but I didn't know it was actually like officially the Black National Anthem song. And I had to look it up, and I was like, "Oh, really? There's a Black National Anthem song? Like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I know that song. Yeah." So, I mean, no, I didn't know until they started talking about it. You know, I didn't know that was the label that they were going to give it.
Ah, so I knew it was the Black National Anthem. I didn't want to get the history wrong, but we play it before almost like every Black, I would say, our African American, what would we call it, event. So we know it.
Yeah.
But I had learned more about it when you start talking about the civil rights movement. Some of my readings coming across it as just being the song, right? I forget the other song that we played. And now I'm gonna regret not knowing the song other than "Lift Every Voice and Sing." We shall overcome.
Oh, yeah, we know that one too. We
Yes. So
shall overcome. Yeah.
yes. So like looking into the civil rights movement, a lot of the song that were being played, and more for being togetherness is what I kind of saw the song as, not necessarily the Black National Anthem, but it puts a bad taste in 2020's mouth, as has most of 2020, when you start saying African Americans or Blacks are getting to play their own national anthem. It's kind of divisive, right? In a way where the discourse is the fact that why would Blacks need a special song for themselves? It's actually causing more divide than it is talking togetherness. So again, like I said, probably bad promotion on the side of, like, they could have just like left out the Black National Anthem piece and just said that they're just going to play this song that's known for human rights and civil rights and we stand together type of song. Instead, they dubbed it the Black National. They dubbed it. And it's not just dubbed by them, but just in general. They
Yeah.
had in the articles. It's just it's like the emphasis, right? Media, of course, owns it on the Black National Anthem. It had to be Black in some way. Um, so good job, NFL. You were fantastic. Horrible promotion of it. But are you against it? My Facebook, that's why I say my Facebook, Twitter, everything blew up because of the NFL wanting to play the Black National Anthem. What are your thoughts on them playing it during or before the Star-Spangled Banner during week 1?
Um, I I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I think the NFL has had a bad rap of not backing up their players. You know, I think it really made them look bad. So now they're at a point where they got to do something about it. You know, so I think they kind of feel like their hands are tied and they have to do something about it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with playing it. You know, just to show that, hey, we support you. It's not about just about Black Lives Matter, but right now we're talking about Black lives, okay, and the injustices. So they're playing it to show that they support the Black people, the Black community. You know, so I don't think there's anything wrong with it. What about you?
I'm with you on it. I took a different stance in looking at what is Lift Every Voice and Sing. I saw it as being kind of a direct reflection of like when they decide to play God Bless America, right? Again, I'm probably going to get roasted for something like that, but it's like playing another. It's probably like playing another. It's to me, it's like it's just playing another song before the Star Spangled Banner. Again, I say probably bad promotion by the NFL to just label it the Black National Anthem. I get the symbolism of the song. I've seen the different, I guess, my own research, looking into the topic about the fact that, again, dubbing it the Black National Anthem just gives it that rap that it is just about Black community, Black people, much like we're talking about the Black Lives Movement or just Black lives in general. So it gives it that type of content, which in fact, a lot of people, not just those in the Black community, but a lot of people play Lift Every Voice and Sing and have probably never known that, like, if they had just said we're going to play Lift Every Voice and Sing, because the lyrics of the song is not just, it doesn't say Black people lift every voice and sing, where it says lift every voice and sing, meaning it's all encompassing. If they just left it at that and say they're just going to play that song, I don't think it would have gotten a whole bunch of left, right, ring, whatever your political slantings might be. I think both sides had issues with it just being labeled the way it was.
Yeah, I think that was a big issue. I mean, I don't see an issue because it's not like it's replacing the national anthem, for one. Okay. I mean, I do agree too that it's divisive, but um, at a time like this, you have to make a statement. I feel like they kind of have to make a statement with everything going on, and it all goes back to Colin Kaepernick. I don't like to drag it back to that, but it all goes back to that. They didn't react. They chose to stay silent, and he got fired. They sent the wrong message to their audience and to their players. That hey, you guys can play. You can play for us. You can go ahead and buy our tickets and watch the games, but as far as everything else is hands off. We don't want to do with it because it's too ugly. We don't want to get involved. But now with the George Floyd thing going on, you kind of have to, because everybody's kind of getting punched in the eye for it. Like those that didn't have an opinion, were looked at as, well, you're just as bad, which is not the case, which isn't the case, which is probably why they feel the need to make a statement. But
yeah, I agree on the subject. The unfortunate death of George Floyd, I call it like that callous point, that burning point, that tipping point. No, I'm not for, again, roasting flavors and everybody want to troll. I'm not advocating for or against what happened to George Floyd. It's a completely unfortunate event,
right.
But to me, it was a tipping point. And much like other tipping points that we see, media sensationalized and very, very out there. You can't dispute what you actually saw, uncut and raw.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you have a 64-day protest up in, was that Seattle? Oh, Portland. Up in Portland. That's why you're getting these continual protests in New York and Chicago. And let's be real here, some of the more we're talking long protests and other things that were happening out of the civil rights movement. We're talking like some of those, like the boycott of the bus system, what that happened, that was over 100-some days or almost like a year. Like, I think those went on for years. So what we're dealing with now is just people are tired. And I think what we're worst to happen is the fact that we're in a perfect storm of a pandemic. People are losing their jobs. And in some ways, it's not just touching one community. Everybody's feeling this. So I think that's why we're getting the kind of the ramp up that we're seeing when it comes to some of these things. So that's why, to me, Lift Every Voice and Sing, not just necessarily for the Black community, but the fact that it's bringing togetherness. This is a time where take away what the NFL, again, promotion-wise has done. If you really look at the lyrics, we're at a point where not just one of us, one community, predominantly Black, can do stuff alone. We've got to. I'm saying to the point we need everybody's community to stand up and band together. If that's hitting the polls, if that's buying from within your community, I don't know. Like I want to get our voices out there, and it needs to be heard. And so that song is literally talking about the fact that you have a voice, you need to be heard, but we got to do it together. Everything I've seen is usually about the fact that it's one thing or the other. So again, I'll take flaming, I'll take trolling, but we're all Americans, right? I've got nowhere else I can go. So how do we make this work together? NFL, how do we make this work? Because what you're talking about with Colin Kaepernick, he got blackballed. Let's be real. Other players did not get. He was the most vocal. He was the one that refused, and he was like, example. He tried it with this past year when he tried to come back and do his own rules to try to get back in the NFL. But
I don't think he had any intention of coming back.
Yeah, blackball.
I think he just wanted to kind of give him the finger a little bit.
But yeah, that's what we get, right? That's what we get for every voice and sing. I think it's more than just what we're talking about with the Star-Spangled Banner. It's something more. So that's why I brought up the topic, and why I think it's important that people of highly melanated skin tones talk about it, be open about it, because I'm just saying, like, most of the times we try to not talk about these things, and it becomes like, well, what do you think? Like, I got a lot of questions on, well, what do you think about the Black National Anthem? It's a song, guys. I I am in the military, so will I be standing for the national anthem? Of course, because it's written in rule. I have to. But would I be standing for the Black National Anthem? Again, I don't know many people that knew that it is a Black National Anthem, and 10 to 1, it's going to be played before the national anthem. So people will probably already be standing before
Yeah.
they take a knee.
So do we stand for the Black National Anthem? Do we?
I don't know the
I think
decorum.
that's what it's called now.
Yeah, I don't. That is for further research. I think
or do we kneel, or what is the? I guess we'll find out.
Yes, I think that's something we're gonna have to look more into, because I have absolutely no idea for the decorum. I just know that usually, if you're playing it at an event that are usually full of, obviously, the Black community, you're just usually, you don't have no seats no way, so you're standing.
Well, is it like boxing? You know how sometimes they have the different cultures playing or boxing, or the opponents, and they'll play like the Mexican national anthem, and then they'll play the American national anthem. Is it?
I don't think it's like this. I think that's different. When you're playing another nation's, well, no, I'm just saying, like, that's showing respect for the country that person comes from, and that is just stuff that we've just seen in general. So that's the custom. I call them the customs and courtesies of just another country's national anthem being played. You would just come off like an a-hole. I get it. Like, hey, American.
Most people are just standing just so they don't look out of place.
True, but I'm saying, like, I don't know any person that wouldn't just stand for that decorum. It's decorum. I don't think, like, it's just saying, like, the same thing. I think we stand because normally, that's why I see it. That was my vision of Lift Every Voice and Sing, was just another song they play before the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Because if you're playing God Bless America, or you're playing one of the other songs that we just love to hear before you play the national, like, it just kind of flows right into it. Like, you hear that drum roll and it's like, oh, national anthem, put your hand over your heart type of thing. It's just another song that they're playing before the national anthem. And I say, yeah, you're already standing, you're already in preparation. And then they tell you, please stand for playing for so and so mega superstar to sing this song, and followed by continue standing for the national anthem. Like you're basically giving instruction most of the time. So that's usually what happens. Everybody out there, please let us know if we are off base, we're wrong. I can take troll and firing and everything else in between. But let us know your thoughts. What do you think about the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing? Just in general, what are your thoughts on it? And especially, what do you think about it being played during week 1 preseason of the NFL 2020 season? That's it. That's all we got on that topic. We'll be back with topic 2, which we've already started to talk about, is the Star-Spangled Banner and the national anthem. We'll be talking about kneeling. Okay, guys, we are back for topic 2, joys of magic of video. I've just basically gone through time about 2 hours. We've just been sitting here. So we'll have outtakes later, but we're talking kneeling during the national anthem. Here's the cue up for this one. This is an article from June 2020 talking about the Black Lives Matter iconic symbol of power, taking the knee, has been a cornerstone of the global movement against racial oppression. And as it all started with NFL player Colin Kaepernick, who sat on the bench when the U.S. anthem was played on August 26, 2016. Why is this so important now is because there's been a lot of 2020 blowback. Not even talking about what 2016 held for Colin Kaepernick. And we talked about the fact that he was, in effect, blackballed. Him and a whole bunch of other players that decided they wanted to take this ironic stand by taking a knee. And we've heard this year from Saints quarterback Drew Brees and his comments on kneeling. So this is one from August 1st. Guess what? That's today. I will post this in the link on Yahoo Sports talking about Drew Brees will be actually standing for the national anthem, but he's going to respect those who decide to kneel. And then recently, anybody that's been keeping up with sports great Mike Ditka, just love that name, Mike Ditka. This is another Yahoo Sports news from July 26th, where he says, for the athletes that decide to kneel, get the hell out of the country. This topic is, I don't know, it can go multiple ways, and I can understand some people's beliefs on it, and how it is, it's more discourse than anything else. So we've seen this blow up from just not the NFL, but now it's a thing. It's a thing. I call it a thing. I loathe to call it a movement because it is talking about racial oppression, and it's ironic that they're taking a knee to do so. Just given the meaning, I'll probably throw out some meanings of what kneeling actually means. But Tiffany, I wanted to get what is your thoughts on, just in general, we'll start very general on people taking a knee during the national anthem.
What is wrong with people taking a knee? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you and I both, we sign on the dotted line, for our freedom, for our rights and everything. I mean, if someone wants to kneel, sit, or stand, that should be their prerogative if that's what they want to do. So when I hear the comment, for those who wants to kneel, get the hell out of the country, that's what America stands for. The freedom of speech, the freedom for self-expression. You know what I mean? So it's kind of bothering. That's the way people feel, and how some people connect kneeling, disrespecting the flag, and disrespecting the troops. We're one of those troops. I have zero problems with anybody kneeling. Now when Colin Kaepernick initially started sitting, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting? Now, in the beginning, we didn't know what he was doing. So once he started to be vocal about why he was sitting, okay, I get it. Okay, yes, finally, a celebrity, is actually speaking up about this racial oppression that America, Black Americans specifically, are experiencing. Like, yes. So when the vet, I can't remember what his name was, that suggested the kneel. Yeah, it was
we'll look it up.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, and then he was like, you know what? You're right. So he took a knee instead of just sitting down. So I think that to say that, a lot of the bad comments about people kneeling, I think it's ignorant. If you want to kneel, you should kneel. If you want to stand, you should stand. I know Drew Brees took a lot of hit by his comments on kneeling, and that's his opinion, that's definitely his opinion. But I think people shouldn't get it confused with, disrespecting the fallen soldiers, disrespecting the troops that are over there fighting for the country. We're fighting for your rights so you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You know what I mean? Don't drag us into it. You know what I mean? This has got nothing to do with disrespecting us. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel. And if that is your opinion, you should be able to have the freedom to express that. Them trying to keep people quiet, snuff them out just because they have a difference of opinion, like, come on. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, so in my opinion, I think that I like the kneeling. I think it's good. I like it. And if they wanted to kneel, then they should. I mean, it kind of started a whole wave. That happened back in 2017?
16.
2016. And here, just yesterday, the Spurs, kneeling at their game. So how do you feel about that? They were also wearing the Black Lives Matter T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was I'm down for expression. I am, but I'm also coming the military, right? The military
Right,
puts a lot on us when you start talking the customs and courtesies that you bring to something that is of reverence, right?
right.
So that's where I'm deriving my opinion. So anybody, again, flaming, trolling, do it, whatever. But um, I am all for
No, don't do it.
your freedom of speech and reflection. But I'm kind of different. Like I'm at this point, I'm indifferent to now. They all want to do something about it, right? You've had almost to the month 4 years to figure out your voice, right? And it took one man making a point, and it's not until, again, when I say you had that tipping point. So for me, is it truly in the manner it's supposed to be? Because even I think I saw the reports of LeBron James and some of the other uh, athletes speaking out about the fact that I think now they feel safe, right? Now that the whole thing about LeBron James when he was talking about it. And again, I love sports. I watch Sports Center and everything else that has to deal with it is the fact that um, Colin Kaepernick didn't have a safe space.
Right.
He wasn't afforded that George Floyd moment, even though there were other moments that were occurring at the time in 2016, 2018, pick a year. Uh, he started a movement, yes. And I hate to call it a movement because no matter what, he is still of an ethnic minority that for some people still feel oppressed. But to me, does kneeling have the same ramifications? No. To me now, it's turned into a movement of sorts for athletes now to take a knee. I mean, what pride? Like that's to me. That's why I say I'm coming from the military background. The show of pride when you're standing on a world stage and you are being I guess, a pillar, a symbol of the country you come from. Uh, what does that say to the world, right? 2016, it was to me, it was an actual expression of what a group of men in the NFL thought on how they were being treated as minority players, that they didn't have a voice. And you had that shock and awe factor of holy crap, like why are you why are you like again, we're talking like just the courtesies that we've afforded to what is the status of the Star-Spangled Banner, the flag. Like I didn't hear again, you're talking about it's not synonymous at all. But when you start talking the customs and courtesies behind why we do what we do with these particular songs and how we play them and what they mean to the people of America, I could see where people are angry. Like it's accepted now. 2020's done a lot for changing the minds and hearts of people because riots do that sometimes. Riots around the world do that. So again, I'm not against it. I'm definitely not for it at this point because it is a thing for the Black Lives Matter movement, right? Very symbolism of a cop sitting on someone's neck, a person, a protector. It's changed, right? It's not just talking about the racial oppression and the things. And I know in some respects that Colin Kaepernick was talking about the fact that that was part of it. This police brutality, the unchecked power. To me, it was more, it still is, it's more powerful back then. Now it's just to me, like we say, bandwagon fans. I can do it. It's safe. Everyone's backing me. I finally feel like I can do it. I'm not going to lose endorsements. I'm not going to lose my livelihood, right? I'm less likely to lose my livelihood by being able to say these things. Colin Kaepernick lost literally when they said stop. He's like, "No, I'm good." While other players that were like, we're going all in. Some stuck around long enough, but that man, that point in time, sat out a whole season, lost his starting spot, and this is after they won the Super Bowl. So that's like saying something. Like he was willing to lay it all on the line, and he did. He played the ultimate. It's almost like saying, from the military standpoint, he paid the ultimate price with his job, his very livelihood, the very thing that made his name out there into a celebrity figure. I just don't see that from some of these other big names, right? Like I get what they're doing. It's fantastic. Same thing, like I'm a soccer player by heart, so I see what's happening on the world stage and how it's changing, and now we want women equality, fair pay, and all the things that it stemmed from. like people don't talk and harken back to the fact I don't see these celebrities like giving Colin Kaepernick a piece of their paycheck because he started something. He wasn't the only one, but he started something and stuck with it. And so no, we start talking about that takes me back to like kneeling. Like I have like some pretty strong opinions about it. It's sad where we are right now, and that we're still having police brutality of any sort, whether or not you see it or not, right? Depending on your outlook and perspectives that you had on life. But I just can't be down with it. And that's just me as a military member. What does that say? Even if I was out of the military, I don't think I would ever take a knee for the Star-Spangled Banner, no matter what those other additional verses say. I'm a person of inclusion, human basic rights. So, I mean, if we want to start talking about rewriting the national anthem to take out the fact about slavery, for those additional, I forgot, what do you call them? The additional verses of the national anthem, I'd be down for that. Let's stand, show some pride. Again, this is a very diverse topic to start flaming people, but those are just personal opinions. Do you, boo-boo? Again, you're not going to be arrested for taking a knee, and I get the symbolism behind it. But this is one of those ones I wanted to read about really quick, talking about from the same article I was reading about the start of Colin Kaepernick's protest. But what is that symbolism for actually taking a knee? And this was written about the fact of symbolism of taking a knee is a symbol of subjugation and subordination. But it is also a military term, right? To take a knee, right? When you start talking about the fact of, I need a break. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I need to catch my breath.
That's what we're used to.
That's what I'm used to, like taking a knee, like
yeah, you need to take a knee, man. Sit this one out.
But then I was like, there's some duality to it when you start talking about it from those two perspectives. We're used to it being I've gone as far as I can do. I need to take a break. And for most of the African American community, minority communities here in the United States, that's a thing. We're just exhausted. Anybody like I think I had a discussion with my mom. That was like her first word. She's like, I'm just exhausted. She grew up in the civil rights era. And even people now, they're like, some of the people that are over the age of 50, they're like, I've lived through it. I've seen it. Even back then, my grandmother was picking cotton. So I'm only like 2 generations removed from the fact that some of the very real realities of what they lived through has changed over time. And my mom's biggest thing was that it's just changed. It's changed into a different form. It's not overt as it used to be. So the very things of we're still fighting for, yes, it's different in its forms. We do have a lot of things we've gotten comfortable with, but taking a knee now has kind of that different, I guess, flavor to it. There's now this point of saying, well, back then, would it have been a thought of subordination and part of a movement? I guess that's a question for, I don't know if you want to answer, give your thoughts on, but thinking about where our parents were and this thought of like taking a knee, is it subordination? Is it showing vulnerability? Because you are in a very vulnerable state when you start saying taking a knee. What are your thoughts on just in general taking a knee? There's some questions out there.
I mean, of course, taking a knee is gonna mean differently to me and you and to somebody else, a civilian, or somebody who hasn't served and has actually used that term, and it has a different meaning to us. I mean, for me to say that like that really doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't think that kind of, you can't tell somebody else and say, hey, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, yeah, it might not, but it totally means something different to them, just like it means something to me. They didn't spend most of their adult life in the armed forces, so we kind of develop our own language and lingo, whereas somebody else, and they lived a totally different lifestyle. So I think it just has different meanings to different people. So taking a knee, yeah, I think that I don't think it means vulnerability, so to speak,
Okay.
but it's a rest. You know, I'm gonna sit this one out, just like they could be saying, I'm gonna sit this national anthem out because I'm not feeling respected at this point. America doesn't respect me, so I feel like I just need to sit down. I just need to sit this one out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thinking it in that kind of way. So I could kind of understand at that point, you know, when you say, how does it look to, you know, other countries when they see us in uniform, you know, kind of disrespecting, you know, the national anthem. Yeah, I could see it as a disrespect, but at the same time, you know, a lot of people feel like they have been disrespected for so long. The Black people have been disrespected for so long. This is what you caused. You know, the anger, the pain that everyone felt, and it came to this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, of course, I'm all about discourse. So I was like, I'm keeping us on a timetable, but this could be a start of another topic, launching off for future different mug talk. But we're talking in the 1960s, I want to believe. Give me a second. The Olympics, where we had the athletes that were holding the Black Power up during the national anthem, and that was their moment of showing their oppression, showing their fight against things. Right? I'm gonna, again, this is a whole nother topic, but it stems from the same thing. What they at least still stood during the national anthem, but the symbolism to me was a lot more. There was a lot more to that. Like, we could show the pictures, throw it up, a whole nother swatch of discussion we could have just from that one, and how this kind of differs from that symbolism, those thoughts, those, again, wholly different generations when you start talking about what's happening now, what's happening then, and some of the very things we're still seeing today. But they found a way to even be at the Olympics, and they were kind of even saying like they were going to do something of the sort, and they did. All, you know, your first through third place is all sitting there, and you're very a very powerful picture. You said 1,000 words or more in just that one picture of what America stands for on a world stage. I think there's more to that discussion. I only bring it up because it is in direct opposition to what we're seeing now with this thought on kneeling. Those guys still stood for the national anthem. They still found a way to stand proud. That's just my thoughts on it. That's my thoughts. Troll later. To stand and still make a point. That's all I'm throwing out there. That's just what I'm coming from. I don't see it as disrespectful. Otherwise, you are making a point. You are expressing yourself under the natural, and I say under the laws we were given for the community that we live in, country that we live in. So keep expressing yourself. That was what I ultimately say. Finding the ways that you can. I'm naturally used to people disagreeing with me, so this will be a fun one. So
you welcome it.
Yes, I almost welcome it because, well, no, we need to be having, we call them the uncomfortable conversations, the conversations that are just what we've deemed them too taboo to have them in a polite company.
Be able to have those conversations and not, you know, and not really like crucify the person for having a difference of opinion.
Yes. I don't think we actually have a difference of opinion on this, but it's providing your perspective. I know I have a pretty strong perspective on just in this in general, and that does come from the background. And I know a lot of people that are from our background and have a completely different opinion on what they wish they could do if they could take off that uniform for a day. And they probably would do it. Like, again, that everyone is different, and that is completely fine. So yeah, we'll end this with the fact, more to come. So guys, tell us what you think on this discussion. This is another topic that is very, very, there's a lot of different things you could talk about. This is what we took it. love to see what you guys think. What are your beliefs on it? Your own personal perspective. Educate us. I love education. Education points is this is why we want to have these discussions, to open the floor for your thoughts and your perspective on things, because how you grew up, and obviously we've talked about our background a lot during this, kind of informing kind of our belief system and how we see things. Not saying people are right or wrong. I definitely did say that I have strong feelings against something like kneeling, but I'm not saying that those people are wrong and they shouldn't do it. It's not against the law. You're not going to be arrested for it. So that's important to put out there. So please drop your comments, your own videos to this. I almost prefer it. Gives us something to talk about later. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts on this comment or on this topic. And wait for it. Break. Okay. Yeah, we've been at it for like 3 hours. That's fine, but that's one. That was my one. That's my ringer. Bing, 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 bing. 111. We are back, guys. That was the first episode of Different Mug Talk. I want to thank first Tiffany. I asked her randomly, and she jumped right on in. So courage under fire. Thank you for joining us today. And if you are down to come back, I would love to have you back and help co-host and talk, obviously, these different things. I'm sure it's boring to others, but fun to us. Hopefully we get to the point where people decide to give us topics. Those are the most fun, especially if we can do them live and in person, because that gives me less time to research. And I obviously edit at will. Edit at will. But you have any last words, any words of wisdom, things you want to leave to the people watching?
I really don't have any words of wisdom. I mean, just like Eboni said, please leave your comments, give us topics to talk about, and hopefully I can be on some future Mug Talk shows with Eboni, so I can be able to speak on those topics as well. But yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, obviously we have grown. Thank you, Tiffany. We have grown from just talking gaming and entertainment / mostly electronics, because that's my wheelhouse. I swear I'm going to get back to it, but we're trying some different voices, as well, call it. So look out for the other content. We will be dropping this as both a video and a podcast. So I'll be providing the link via Facebook. If you want to reach out to me and Tiffany, we do have a Twitter. So it is Different Mug Talk, DIFF. Oh, I can't spell. DIFFERENT Talk Mug Talk. Yeah, I messed that all up. Different Mug Talk. Just read below. I'm not the most literate person when it comes to the stuff, and I'm gonna do one of these, because this will be my point where I put in this pretty graphic that shows the Twitter page. If you want to reach out to me personally, I do have an IG, Instagram, Archon Storm. That's right here. And guys, thank you. This has been fun. I've been waiting for this for 2 years. And so I'm grateful and blessed to have Tiffany come on and be a guest host, a special guest. And you definitely will be seeing her again, because I'm going to basically con her into coming on to more things. So you might you might see her in some of the upcoming episodes of the Wine Wednesdays for the for the unsophisticated people in my life who are trying to be sophisticated, and then more reason for us to try to get sophisticated, a little more bougie in our life. And I call it the Wine Wednesday because it's just group of friends getting together. Again, I'm gonna try to roll it out this month. There's a lot going on, but at least I got this done. I got something done for once, so super exciting. And I'm definitely glad I got a group of friends that are just amazing. I'm going to try to bring you the podcast for Elevated Voices toward the end of the month. I have somebody in mind, but they are rather shy, so we will see if I can get this special guest, because I love her story, her energy, and just her as a person. Met her when I got here in San Antonio. So hopefully this person knows who she is, because I'm going to talk bad to her face when I see her, because she's supposed to be a special guest on this episode. But yeah, me and Tiffany can hold it down. But Tiffany knows what I'm talking about. Hopefully soon she gets the courage through voice. That's why I'm calling it Elevated Voices. That she comes out and tells you a terrific, what I call a terrific story of overcoming her own personal herself, right? So I've been trying to upload a lot of content talking about changing mentality, changing you doing what's best, you building your best you. So hopefully that's coming at the end of the month. We'll say, we'll see. So look for that podcast, and if I have to bring Tiffany on just to talk about her life in the military, that could be it. I could be like, oh, you only got one friend, probably.
No, we know you don't. You have more than one friend.
Yes, but people that aren't camera shy. So that's why I say you're probably gonna see a lot of Tiffany. I'll hopefully can bring back George. Didn't get in hold of him in enough time to get him on air, but this is ultimately a thank you guys. I appreciate it. This has been a wonderful experience, and hopefully this is the start of many more. And so I will say, like I've been doing on my Instagram, as always, we're going to provide and hope you provide yourself with positivity and good vibes. And namaste, and we love you guys. Peace.